What up, YouTube? How you guys doing? How y'all doing today? Today, I'm gonna be telling the story about the time that me and my boy got pulled over with 2 illegal blicks in the car, a bunch of ammo, and I actually ended up getting sent to jail for a little bit. For just a single day. It was some bullshit. It was over a ticket. They never found the guns. But anyway, before I get into the story, I thought I'd take a quick little rip. So if you guys are smoking along with me or got anything packed, I'll give you a second to pause the video. Do that now. But anyway, without further ado, let's take a rip. Cheers, boys. Alright, now that we got that out of the way, let's get into the story. So this all happened, I want to say 2 to 3 years ago, right? Because I've already lived in my house for about 2 years, so this was back when I was living in South Carolina out of Airbnb, so it had to be like at least 2 or 3 years ago, right? And so at the time I was living in South Carolina, and I had quite a bit of money to my name because of a situation that I'll probably end up making a video on some other day, but not right now. But I had a decent amount of money in my pocket, right? You know, a big chunk of money. I'm not going to get into the details, but enough money to live very comfortably and do whatever I wanted at the time, right? And so I was basically traveling the East Coast, just living at Airbnbs with my girlfriend, who's now my wife. But we were traveling up and down the East Coast, living at Airbnbs and shit, and we ended up in South Carolina, right? So Myrtle Beach, to be specific. Shit's expensive, but I had the money for it. That shit was like $5 a month, bro, like dead ass. Just to stay in like a 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom apartment is like $5-6 a month, which is crazy. But like, you know, at the time I had no credit history, and I wasn't really ready to like, you know, pick a place to settle down or anything yet, to like get an apartment. So, you know, I was just living out there Airbnbs. I was living in I think it was called Surfside. I think it's a little north of Myrtle Beach. I can't really remember the layout of that area, really, honestly with you. I only lived there for about 3 months, I want to say, and then I moved down to Charleston. We were living in Surfside, right? And my girlfriend actually knew this girl that she had went to high school with from back up in Vermont, where we're from, right? She knew this girl that had moved down there, and she had a boyfriend who I actually ended up getting along with pretty well, right? So I ended up making friends with him. His name was Jamaris, right? So me and him ended up getting along pretty well, right? So long story short, him and his like living situation with his parents and shit wasn't very stable, so I ended up letting him come and live with me at my Airbnb. So one day we were just hanging out, and he comes out into the kitchen, and he's like, tells me, yo, so my dude has a gun for sale. Are you interested in buying it, right? At the time I already had a gun, right? A little 22 pistol. I wasn't really interested in you know, traveling with too many different guns. And so I straight up told him, I was like, you know, I don't really need it, but if you're interested, you know, I'll pay for it. It's only a couple $100, you know. He was like, you know what, bet, yeah, let's go do that shit. So little backstory on is basically like Young Ma, if Young Ma was a Crip instead of a Blood, right? She's this big tough girl, right? That's she's a Crip, and she's, you know, she's pretty badass. You know, I got along with her pretty well. My girlfriend did too. She's good people, right? So she hit up my my dude and was like, yo, I got a Yamin for sale, you know what I mean? I'm gonna go back through and censor the names. We'll call her Young Ma, right? So Young Ma hits us up, and she's like, yo, I got a blick for sale, right? She's only trying to get like, you know, $300-400 for this thing. I think it was like a little 9mm something or other. I think it was a M&P Shield, if I remember correct, little 9mm. But she hits us up, and she's like, yo, let's buy this. So me and him, we hop in my 370 that I just bought, a little 370Z, a red one with a nice exhaust on it, loud. So we're sticking out, right? We hop in this bitch, we skirt on over to the hood that he's from, which is in, I think it was called Conway, South Carolina. I don't remember much about the area. It was, he said it was the hood. It didn't really feel like the hood to me. It just felt like trailer parks, but, you know, I don't know anything about that shit. But We pull up on the block where she told us to, and we pull up. She comes outside, and I literally, we're chill with her. It's not like this is some random person. She's already come over. We've hung out before. We've eaten out together and shit. She's chill, right? And so I just immediately cashed after the bread, and she hands it over to Jamaris, and he's just checking it out, and he's like, bet. She actually gave us a box of bullets with it too, right? Just for free. Some crazy like hollow point shits. We dapped her up, and she actually told us, she was like, yo, I'm about to get a Drake, right? Like a Draco, mini Drake. If you want to come pick that up, if you want to swing through later, I'll give that to you for like 700, 850, right? And I was like, bet, bro. Like, I'll swing back through and we can come pick that shit up. We end up leaving up out the area. And I just remember when we were about to leave up out of the hood, like, hella kids on bikes. These badass little kids, like, pulled up to my car and were, like, talking to me about that shit. And all types of shit. I don't remember what the hell they were talking to me about. But I remember it being funny, trying to get me to rev the car and shit. But anyway, we bounced up out the hood. And Jamaris asked me, he's like, yo, let's stop and get some blunt wraps so we can roll up later, right? Because we had some weed at the crib already. And so I'm like, bet, bro, where can serve us? Because at this time, neither me nor him were 21. We were both, like, I think just 20. Like just barely not 21, right? I think we just turned 19. Or I just turned 20. My bad. But not 21 yet. So we needed to find a place that could sell us blunt wraps, right? And he knew a spot. He knew this sketchy Indian, like, little drive-through mart that you could just hop in the little drive-through and they won't card you on backwoods or swishers or nothing like that. So that's what we do, bro. We skirt up over there to the Indo. We pull up on the little, like, side door thing where they come out and serve you. And they open up the window and they're like, what do you want, right? And he knows them. So he's like, let me get a juice and some backwoods, right? I throw them the money, whatever, yada, yada, yada. We get the backwoods. It's not that important. And so at that point, we pull off into the parking lot and just park up for a second. And he gets the genius idea to be like, yo, bro, let's take the long way home and go through the boulevard, right? Which, looking back, this is such a dumb idea, right? I think he was just feeling himself or something because he just copped a new strap. But, like, this was stupid as fuck, right? The boulevard, for y'all that don't know, that's like the main strip of Myrtle Beach, right? Like, that shit is fucking hot, bro. Cops everywhere all the time. Like, it is the main strip of Myrtle Beach. Is where all the tourists come to drink and get fucked up and fight and everything. So there's always cops, bro. Keep in mind, we're in a bright red 2-seater sports car. It's me, this white boy, that's wearing all types of weird shit. And then this other dude, this Crip named Jamaris, who's like super dark skinned, got dreads and everything. So we're sticking out and we're in a bright red sports car, bro. We don't belong there. We're both young as fuck, too. We're blasting music, and we decided to go to the boulevard, bro, which was stupid as fuck. And so we hit the boulevard, we go down the whole thing, right? Nothing's happening. We're just cruising through traffic. I'm giving her a little gas. We're bumping some music. We're chilling, we're chilling. And then right when we get to the end of the boulevard, I think he was feeling himself. He starts hanging out the window, hollering at these girls that were on the corner, right? And I wasn't having no part of that because, I already got my girl. I'm not interested in with all that shit. You know what I mean? I'm very loyal. And so I was just sitting in the car while he was doing that because we was at a red light. He was hollering at these girls. And so I took this corner, right? And I like I do with every video, I'll pull up the Google Earth in a bit and I'll show y'all exactly how this was set up just so y'all can get an idea of how this was set up. But I pull up off this corner and I go around the corner right where he was hollering at these girls that came out of this restaurant or store or whatever it was on the corner. And he's like hanging out the window kind of. He got clearly no seatbelt on. He's hanging out the window of a sports car. And I'm kind of giving it some gas, I'm making her loud. What happens is when we turn the corner, there's an alleyway right there on the strip. Right sitting in that alleyway, bro, was 2 little cops on fucking motorcycles, bro. The 2 little motorcycle cops, dude. And so the second we turn that corner, he's hanging out that shit, and I'm giving it some gas. You can hear it on the exhaust. Bro, obviously they jump out behind us, dude. And so I start to panic, bro. I'm nervous in my head. I'm thinking, shit, we got blunt on us. We got weed. We got 2 guns. We got ammo. Like, what the fuck? Now the police is behind us. Like, goddamn, bro, get in the car. So I'm kind of yelling at him, bro. I was a little bit pissed off, right? So I was like, get in the car, bro. Put your seatbelt on. And so he's freaking out. He's tucking up his gun or whatever. I tell him to tuck mine up under the seat in this little spot that I have in my car. He tucks my shit up. We're freaking out because they're just behind us, right? And so I take a turn onto the main road and keep going, and they take the turn with us, bro. So now I'm like panicking, right? and I see a Subway right up on the corner where I'm just like, oh shit, I'm gonna pull in there. So I go to take this turn. Looking back, bro, it said no turn on red, and I didn't see that. And so I take this turn, which was illegal, and of course they see that and they pull behind us and turn the lights on. So boom, we're fucked, bro. Alright, so I said I would show you guys what it looked like from Google Earth. So this is the boulevard right here. You could tell tons of shit was going on, and we were down right here, right? So we were literally right here, right? We were pulling up here when he was hanging out of the window. And this is, you can just tell, this for some reason in the Google photos, they must have went through it like a dead time, because this is normally popping with people, bro. I mean, this whole strip is normally popping. And so we were in this lane, right? And so we went through here, and then there was girls in here that he was hollering at, the Ripley's Believe It or Not Museum, right? And so we turned right here and went up there. And then right in this alleyway is where the motorcycle cops were sitting, bro. So keep in mind, he's hanging out the window as I take this turn right here. And it's a sports car. And I just passed by 2 motorcycle cops sitting right here. And of course, I keep going and they pulled right out behind me. And so what I did is I kept going up the street. Keep in mind, they're still behind me. Got up to this intersection. Banged a fucking left. Kept going, and then I got up to this fucking light up here with them still behind me, and I didn't realize that this was a straight only lane right here. It says fucking no turn on red, right? And so I turned into this like parking lot right here, even though I should have just kept going, and then I could have fucking turned in over there or something, but no, I just turned in down there. And of course, the second I turn down here, I get lit up like right here. We got pulled over literally like right here, bro. And then as for the jail, bro, I think it was literally up the street. Like, I could probably find it, bro. It was literally like, I want to say it was like literally like right over here somewhere. Like, is this it? I think this might be it. Yeah, right here, right here, right here. It's literally right here, bro. This was the jail that I went to. That's crazy, yeah. This was, and then, yeah, this is where I came out of. And then, that's where my car was parked. And we pulled up out of there, bro. And we got the fuck up out of there. Anyway, yeah, that was it. And Jamar starts freaking the fuck out, bro. Like, he started tweaking, dog. He was straight up freaking out, saying, I need to pull off real quick. I need to leave. Like, yo, take him on the chase. Like, and I was like, nah, bro. Like, I just bought this car. This is a legal car. This ain't no striker. Like, I'm not trying to crash out with this shit, right? So I end up pulling over. We had all this shit tucked up pretty good, right? In secret compartments and shit. But he had his gun. He was just sitting on it, bro. I remember he told me that afterward. He was just sitting on that shit. Like, not even... It wasn't even hidden or nothing. It was just underneath him. Dumbass. Probably loaded and shit too. I pull over, bro. Cop comes up to the window and it's 2 biker cops, bro. And they got slick back hair and sunglasses on. And you already know we're fucked, bro, from the jump. He goes, license and registration. I give him that shit, right? At this time, I had just come from a couple months back. I had come from my dad's house from just meeting him. And he was a drunk driver and a piece of shit, right? So I was driving him home one night from the bar in his car. We got pulled over and there was something wrong with his car, like a fix-it ticket or something. In Illinois where we were, it goes to whoever was driving, right? So since I was driving the car, it went on my license. And so he told me he was going to get it figured out and paid for, so I just assumed he did. And now fast forward like 5 months, I'm in Myrtle Beach and getting pulled over with my boy Jamaris with the guns in the car. And it come back that I didn't pay that and my license is revoked, right? And I had no idea about this. So they come back and they're like, yo, your license is revoked. Like, you need to step up out of the car. And so I'm like, oh, what the fuck? So now I'm panicking, bro. Like, now they're going to search the car. We're fucked. They're going to find the guns. They're going to find the weed. Like, this is fucked, right? You know, I don't know how legal this gun is or anything, too. Like, we just paid cash for it on Cash App, bro. Like, this shit could have hella bodies. It could be wanted. Like, you never know, bro. And so we're kind of panicking. And I get out the car. They immediately cuff me. And they're like, you're under arrest for driving with a suspended license, you know. And they call backup, which is, you know, because obviously they can't take me to the station in, you know, a motorcycle. So they're calling backup. Backup arrives. It's like a Tahoe, you know, the big fucking SUVs that they drive. So I already know I'm fucked. They put me in the back of that thing. They straight up asked me, bro. This was what was kind of racist as fuck. They were like, so how do you know him? Like, they were like really prying to see like how I knew my Jamaris, right? Which is fucked up because, like, dude, we were just dead ass friends. Like, we just lived together, right? Like, that was my roommate at the time. Like, how the fuck are you gonna be like that just because he's black and I'm white? But anyway. And apparently they asked him the same question. Like, later on, I told him about it, obviously, later. And he was like, yeah, dude, they said the same thing to me. They were like, so how do you know that cat? It was just ridiculous. But anyway, they're asking me all these questions and shit, and they end up just taking me off to the station. So I didn't even know what happened. Like, I didn't even see my car. I wasn't sure if it was gonna get towed or what was gonna happen, bro. They didn't search it or nothing when I was there. They just took me away. So I'm like panicking, bro. They take me to this fucking this like jail that was right up the street. It was like a 4-minute drive from there, bro. The downtown jail. And they put me in this holding cell just like waiting, and I'm freaking the fuck out the whole time, being like, dude, like, what is gonna happen? Like, did they find the guns? They towed my car? Where's Jamaris? Like, I don't know what's going on. And so fast forward like an hour and they don't come in with him. So I'm like, dude, like, I hope he's not dead. Like, I hope he didn't get in a fucking shootout. Like, I don't know what happened, bro. I start asking the people questions that are there, right? Like the workers and shit. And I'm like, yo, like, can I pay my own bail? Like, what's this gonna look like? Like, what can we do here? And they're like, oh yeah, like you could, if you have the money on you, like, yeah, you could pay your own bail. Like, we take debit and credit cards here. And I was like, oh shit, like, how much is my bail to just leave right now? And they're like, oh, well, if you have the money, it's only like $700. You could just leave right now. It's only driving on a suspended. And I was like, dude, say less. So I told them my debit card was in my wallet and my personal belongings. And I was like, yo, just go get that and run it. And they're like, okay. They did, bro. And they were like, all right, well, now we just got to wait for the bail bondsman to come so you can pay that. And you should be ready to go. And dude, I was freaking the fuck out the whole time because it took like 5 more hours for that motherfucker to show up, right? So finally, after that, first of all, there's people freaking the fuck out in the jail the whole time. Like, this is Myrtle Beach on like a Friday night. Like, there is hella shit going on, bro. Like, they brought this girl in that it was like covered in blood, bro. Like, she clearly just beat the fuck out of someone. She's talking about, they stole my money, where's my $100? Bro, she was freaking the fuck out. There was drunk crackheads everywhere. Like, it was wild. I ended up getting taken out of my cell like 4 or 5 hours later, and I'm assuming it's time for me to go, right? So they take me into this little side office, and they're like, and I'm nervous. This is where I'm like, oh shit, maybe something else happened. Like, they're gonna start questioning me. But nope, they're just like doing my outbooking or whatever the fuck. They're like, yep, dude, like, we're getting ready to go. They started just talking with me about like downhill mountain biking, because like they knew my charges wasn't that serious, you know. It was just like driving on a suspended, so it wasn't even that big of a deal. And so they were chill with me. They were just like talking to me about downhill mountain biking and all types of shit. Whole time, little did they know, I had 2 guns in that car and a bunch of other bullshit, and they just didn't find it. But anyway, I'm fucking freaking out. And so keep in mind, I don't know what happened to Jamaris. I don't know if my car is gone. Like, I don't know what happened. None of the officers there knew either, because it was patrol officers that were out there, and obviously they're not the same people that are working at the jail. So like, nobody knew anything. And so I ended up just fucking bailing out, and I finally get all my stuff together, and they're like, all right, you can leave. I shit you not, I walk out the front door into like the little reception area where people wait to pick people up. Bro, who did I see waiting in reception to pick my ass up was fucking Jamaris, bro. He was sitting there waiting for me to pick me up, dog. Apparently, he had literally just got his license like a week prior, bro. And the reason they didn't believe him is because he only had the paper license, dude. But eventually he did. So what ended up happening is they ended up letting him take my car home to the Airbnb without searching it, without anything, and just taking it home, bro, because he had a license. And so nothing even happened to him, bro. He literally took car home with the guns, with the weed, with everything, took everything out, and then straight up came back to the jail and waited for me for like 6 hours in the lobby, bro. That's the fucking homie, dog. And so when I see him there, my whole heart was like, oh my god, bro. And he looks at me, he's like wide-eyed as fuck, like, we got away with it, bro. And so, dude, I'm like, don't even say anything. Like, let's just shut the fuck up until we get in the car. So I go out there, and my car's in the parking lot, bro. He drove the car back to fucking pick me up from jail that I just got arrested in that car for. Obviously, he didn't bring the fucking guns with him this time. I asked him, I was like, you didn't bring shit, right? He's like, no. I took it all out. I was like, bet. And so what happened was, bro, we drove all the way back to the Airbnb. It was probably like 15-20 minute drive up the street. Fucking ended up rolling up a fat blunt, talking to my girlfriend, telling her everything that happened. Dude, it was a good night after that. Like, I was fucking panicked, but damn, it was a good night. And we kept both guns, didn't get charged for nothing. I didn't even have to spend a full night in jail. It was what's up, bro. Just had to figure out my license. Plus, since I paid the bail, technically part of the bail was reinstating my license, so I got it back. And it all ended up working out in the end, bro. Just like every other time this shit happens in my life, somehow, some way, it ends up working out, bro. Anyway, I feel like this video's gotten really long, but this is a pretty good story, if I don't say so. You know, I mean, this is a pretty crazy one. This is one of the more crazy ones that I'm willing to tell on here. You know, there's definitely more crazy, but I think that I have to wait a little bit longer for things like that, you know, with statute of limitations and shit like that. I feel like this was a pretty good story, and it was pretty long, so if you made it this far, comment made it, I guess, I don't know. And leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe if you like this video. Please leave some feedback in the comments if there's anything that you want me to change, or, you know, anything. Just I respond to all comments. Have a good rest of your day, boys. Peace.